My contact info is in the description. I'm just completing this video. Condensing Consciousness Part 1 was a couple videos back. YouTube cut off my live for whatever reason. So, infinity experiences itself through the finite. The ego, which is time and space, is the body. The body is dense ego. There's no separation. So, condensed time and space is the body. The body is a condensation of ancestors, or a summation of ancestors. Your seed is the past and the future at one time. So the ego, again, like I was saying, is the egg, the ego, and that's the body. And the seed, like I was saying, like if you look at your spine, it looks like the same template as a sperm, same shape. The sperm is the blueprint. It's the yang, the light, the template, the pattern. Again, paternity test is the test of the father, or whatever you're testing out to find out who the father is. So the paternity or paternal, that line or pattern, that's the same. That's the root. It's the etymology of that. The padre. That's the, you're getting the seed from the padre. That's the pattern. That's the template. That's the blueprint that creates this model of the brain and the spine. It's the same thing as the sperm. They're the same. So as they condense, as they're 3D printed, as the sperm is 3D printed through the merger with the feminine through the egg, you have a body. That blueprint gets amplified, because that's all 3D printing is, amplification. And we're all 3D printers ultimately, because the breath is being amplified into blood, which is being amplified into marrow, bone, tissue, or flesh, however you want to look at it. It's amplification of the breath. And the female womb is a 3D printer. So it's the ultimate 3D printer. Everything's modeled after the body. If we can create it, it came from us. So we can't create anything that isn't us. And through the process of creation, we experience ourselves. And this is what I mean as far as the process of creating children or channeling ancestors. And you are your own ancestor. So the egg is the body. The seed is the seer, infinity. The egg is the ego, or the body. And you can also look at it like the echo, because again, auditory thoughts are the body, or are in closer alignment with the body. That's your left brain. Whenever you're getting auditory thoughts, that's left brain. That's what people are calling the rational mind. The more rational you are, the more you're getting into concepts, boundaries, identities. That's all finite. That's the body. That communication is coming more from the body. Auditory thought is more of a body language. And thought itself is the echo of consciousness. Thought isn't consciousness. You're observing thoughts. The consciousness can pan a room. You can pan a room, and then the thoughts will follow, because it's the echo of the consciousness. Consciousness does not think. It is aware. When you're aware, you are not thinking. If you know, or if you shouldn't say no, if you are aware of something, you don't have to think about it. You are aware of it. Currently, in the moment, aware of it. When you're thinking, it's really like the opposite of consciousness. You're reflecting. Thinking is reflecting, being the mirror. The body is the mirror of the consciousness, of the light. It's the Lucifer, the light bearer. So it's the glow from the light. It's not the actual light. So again, whenever you're reflecting, you're thinking. Whenever you're identifying with a reflection, a thought, you're not really in the actual moment. You're in a hologram. When you're thinking even a visual thought, you're in a holographic creation inside your brain. And if you're thinking from auditory thought, it's even more of a body language. Because it's right brain is closer to the Tao. It's closer to the source, because you're looking at things from the irrational, the ineffable, the immeasurable. That's more right brain. You're getting into how things all connect, and infinity. That's irrational. Infinity is rational, and the finite is going more towards rational, more quantified. More the body, more identities, more concepts, more boundaries, more limits. That's the left brain. That's the echo. You're getting closer to the echo when you're thinking from a left brain dominant type. The more you identify with thought in general, you're identifying with a lower identity, a lower presence. I shouldn't say higher or lower because that creates separation in itself, but just for the sake of conversation, anybody identifying with the echo is identifying with the ego, because again, thoughts are just the echo of consciousness. That's not consciousness itself. It's the reflection. So let me move forward. You're basically oscillating from infinity to finite and back again. So you look at infinity back to the finite. So you're going, the Adam, Eve, is the binary code 011001000, and through the merger of the two, you have infinite finitude. You have infinite finite experience through the merger of male and female. This is how the finite becomes infinite, or the finite experiences infinity, and the infinity experiences finitude through the merger of male and female. That is that's this whole thing of experiencing yourself, of merger of the yin and the yang, the one and the zero, the finite and the infinite. And that's just the sperm and the egg, the body being the egg, the tissue, the flesh, all of the dense organs. Those are the yin organs, the heart. That's of the flesh. That's more with the yin. The lungs are more of an empty organ. That's a yang organ. So where the spirit, things that are heavy sink, like water. Mother is associated with water. The winds is more in the spirit, in the heavenly Father. That's the rising energy. The things that go lower, everything meets at the Tao. Again, it's going to create separation. You're putting women lower. It's the female principle. Everyone is male and female. So the feminine sinks, water sinks, and everything meets at the Tao, no matter how you look at it. So there's no separation in it. It's just saying, for the sake of conversation, to show this perspective here, that the yin sinks, the yang rises. So, and when they merge, you have infinity, you have finite infinity and infinite finitude, however you want to look at it. So you're oscillating back and forth, the inhales and the exhales. You're giving breath and taking a breath at the same time. Again, you're taking a breath, you're giving yourself breath, but as you do this, you're taking away breaths from your parents. And then you fully develop, you recreate, and then your children do what you just did. As they take breaths, you have less on this earth, and you're transitioning back into seed form, condensing back. Your consciousness is condensing back into seed form. So inhales are exhales. There's no separation. Male is female. It's just that through this process of illusory separation, we get to experience things. We get to experience againstness in a way like, I like to feel your skin against mine. So againstness can also be positive and negative. It's however you look. This is the duality. However they complement, or it's dualistic, whatever. It's people. It's really up to people's perception. Their alignment really determines the perception. So again, if you were to live 7,000 years in a light body, it's no different than living 70 years in a dense body or a dim body, however you look at it. So time is experiencing itself through space. It's relative to its relationship with itself. When time is close to space, the breath or consciousness is bouncing quickly off of its physical self. So if you look at consciousness bouncing like Pong between time and space, in the beginning, coming from infinity, that bounce takes longer. The perception of that bounce is longer. Then time and space get closer and closer and closer, and then there's greater friction, greater resonance. And there's the inhales and exhales, you perceive less separation, and you see that your inhales are actually exhales of your past life you, or future life you, your children's children, whatever you look at it. So the more you get into that infinite state, the more that time seems long again. So, and that's how you go through this process of time finding itself, time finding space. And the more discovery or connection between time and space is cultivated, the more that you have that resonance. As time and space come together and they get closer, there's a stronger energy, stronger communication. Breath is energy. Breath is, it's energy, but breath is communication. You're communicating with life through your breath. Everything else follows that. So time seems to speed up as that friction speeds up until the point of singularity is reached. and time and space fold into infinity. Time begins to stop. Time starts stopping. So this is the process of consciousness condensation. It's the process, again, negation is creation. The creator experiences itself through the process of pattern creating. Clear patterns are eternal templates. They're forever refreshed, forever inspiring. They're new and clear. They're nuclear. They're timeless. And the only way to tap into the timeless, or to be the timeless, is to tap into the breath, to accept the breath fully. And through doing that, you can realize the truest identity in you, to where the timeless identity. And the more that you live from that place, the more that you create from that place, and you perceive life from that place. Again, creation is more so perceiving. The more that you are aligned with the breath, the more that you perceive life from a more grand seat in the audience. As far as you watching life or whatever, if you're an observer of life, if you were in the front row, you don't get to see the screen maybe the same way you would in the back at the top. And the more that you're in alignment with the breath, the more that you can maintain that view of life. And then you won't get lost in the back and forth of it. You won't get lost in inhales and exhales. You won't get lost in ups and downs. There is no up or down. They're one. So that's really it.